are readied up, and we should be underway any second.
Absolutely. Bradley rocking the Trogdor sprite, Sinhe with a standard Link variation here, and red mail is for cowards, claims the uncle on his way out.
That's always an interesting one to see.
So Bradley taking the left side, Sinhe the right, on their way to the sewers to get their initial weapon for this seed.
Oh, we get a bow to start.
Well, we'll see a lot of fletching going on right now, and that also potentially opens up a potential early Eastern Palace full clear, if depending on whether. And we get a hammer too, so why not a hammer to go along with your bow? Sure.
Man. Yeah, that's like two of the weapons you'd really love to see early on because they're two of the bigger pieces of progression.
Absolutely. Definitely huge payouts early in this seed, and that hammer may allow them to quickly dispatch the guard as well, rather than having to shoot 4 arrows in its face. But yeah, we'll see how our runners react to this rather insane bounty, not even 2 minutes in.
Alright, let's see what we get from the first chests down here. Just a bomb upgrade to start.
Interesting that Sinhe is utilizing the hammer to one-shot most of these enemies here, while Bradley is still sticking to the bow strats to do some additional farming.
Yeah, I think both have their merits. The bow might be able to get some quicker kills, though the hammer is stronger.
And there's some bombs for Sinhe and soon-to-be Bradley, so that may put an end to any potential farming we would see going forward for the remainder of this escape.
Yep, always nice to get those bombs. Don't have to come back here. A little bit of a relief. Yeah, not much to talk about in the escape sequence. It's a standard about 6-minute sequence everybody has to do. Already up to 5 hearts. A little bit of health early. Now, getting that extra health actually, it would generally push me a little bit more towards Eastern because I wouldn't mind doing the dark rooms with 5 hearts. But we also have to see whether Eastern is a pendant or a crystal.
Most certainly. That'll be an interesting early decision here with the bow already in our runner's possession here. But yeah, we're just running out this escape sequence, and provided there's no crazy untimely deaths or anything, I might have pulled off some similar stunt earlier, that we should have a pretty standard 6-minute clearance of this opening sequence here. I don't believe we've got the map yet, so whether or not the Sanctuary chest will be collected or not still remains to be seen.
Both runners making their way out of the dungeon, heading into the back area. I am going to be curious to see if the 2 runners elect to diverge paths after coming out of here, or if they're going to both take standard routes.
Bradley doing a little bit more farming there, not satisfied with just the 3 bombs, maybe looking for some cash to hopefully get some additional bombs or pay off the bottle merchant, but not much going there, although Bradley does have a 12 rupee advantage right now over Sinhe going into the sewers.
Yeah, I feel like the rodents down here are generally better to kill. They just tend to have better drops.
Sinhe spending no time killing any of the snakes, going right past and getting the small key, which we knew was going to be there based on the way these items were sprinkled about. Will remain to be seen if the map is one of the 3 items here in the sewers.
So, at least in terms of what they have, it's a very nice start. Just because you've got 2 items that you definitely do need to clear the seed. So that's, even though we're still way away from go mode, but you know, just having a few of those items closer already is nice.
Absolutely. We're about to see Sinhe go into the secret left room here of the sewers. Let's see what they get.
No, not much in there. Just 40 rupees and a map.
That will bring Bredley up to 52, so definitely enough to restock bombs at Kakariko if they decide to do so, or you know, collect further rupees to maybe pay off the bottle merchant in one go.
All right, we're coming out. One more chest to see in the escape sequence. Just a piece of heart. All right, let's see which way our runners elect to go coming out of here. Get a map check from Sinhe. All crystals and all blue crystals in the light world.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gonna elect to take a traditional route to Kakariko. Check in on lumberjacks first.
And getting 5 rupees from the first tree pool here.
Yep, Bradley's gonna make the same route. So no divergence yet. I don't know what he saw in there. I could only see the tip.
Maybe a rupee. I can't say that with absolute confidence, but Sinhe must have been satisfied.
I guess so. Let's see if we can get a confirmation on Bradley's side.
Meanwhile, more money at the mushroom spot for Sinhe.
Okay, it was just a blue rupee. No lumberjack needed. Oh, a lot of red rupees to start. I think we've seen. Have we seen 4? I don't know if we've seen 4 or 5 in chests, but yeah.
That sounds about right. If my counting is correct, there's a good 28 of them spread across the item pool, so that would explain the abundance of them thus far.
All right, we're heading into Kakariko. We got 13 items spread out throughout here. Let's see which way the Kakariko items point them today.
There's some more money of a much considerable amount for Sinhe, a piece of heart, the power glove, and some more bombs.
Okay, power glove is nice. Gets you a little closer to to Dark World access.
And the third heart container in the back of the hideout, and Sinhe will be on his way to the well. Meanwhile, Bredley is in hot pursuit of Sinhe, doing the exact same standard Kakariko routing here.
Alright, we've got Sinhe going into the well. Just a piece of heart to start. Another red rupee. A piece of heart. A green rupee. And a piece of heart.
So far, just the Power Glove being really the only noteworthy thing. Now, it's hard to complain when you get a bow and a hammer within 90 seconds, so that may explain the relative lack of items. Speaking of which, there's a lamp from the bottle merchant, a decent payout for your 100 rupees.
Yeah, so that definitely points towards Eastern. Get that out of the way. Could also go up Death Mountain. There's only 2 items up there right now you can get to.
And the chickens were guarding a piece of heart.
A lot of pieces of hearts, a lot of red rupees so far. Though they are I think those are the 2 most common items in the item pool.
28 and 24 respectively. So yeah, that makes up a good 52 of your 216 items in and of itself.
Bradley tried to do the chicken toss, but missed the hole. Yeah. Oh, there's a shovel in the library.
Will that be relevant? Time will tell. Shovel behind boots with the shovel spot needed. Who knows? There's 300 rupees at the race reward. It looks like Sinhe may be going ahead and grabbing that, perhaps in preparation to do a fake flipper to Zora potentially.
Yeah, this early rupee hoard like that would be very nice to grab. So we've got South Shore, we've got Eastern, which is completely in logic. It'd be interesting to see which way these runners would like to go.
Sinhe collects his trash, which he may consider his treasure in this case, and will be presumably warping to Link's house to proceed toward the southern part of the Light World here.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually going to go to Eastern.
Nope, going right to Eastern, which makes perfect sense given the bow and lamp combo this quickly.
Yeah, I mean, 6 items over there. Might as well go grab them. And it's a crystal. Alright, what does Saharsla have? I think the Trogdor map sprite was fire, and we get some Titans myths in Saharsla's hut.
A huge payout for this early Eastern Palace visit, which this seed was absolutely kind of gently nudging you towards. Let's see, Sinhe will go ahead and take complete Eastern while in the neighborhood here, which perfectly sensical here, and looks like Bradley is going to follow the same pathing here.
Yeah, it's definitely a very nice path to pull off here. You know you can clear Eastern, just get it out of the way. Plus, it's technically part of Sphere 1, so you could always find anything in here.
So Sinhe entering Eastern Palace right at the 13-minute mark. We'll see when Bradley gets in there as well. Checking the green pendant, which we now know is at Ice Palace, thanks to Sahasrah's intel.
Just a map to start off. Alright, we got Bradley heading towards Eastern, and Sinhe is going to check the next chest over here.
Smashing those pots with the hammer and getting some bombs out of the eastern chest.
Yeah, not much so far, but we've only seen 1 item. There's still 3 more in here.
And given the loadout here, they will need to go ahead and check Vanilla Big Key chest, most likely in order to ensure that they clear everything without being any too saucy with gambling here. Let's see. We have item 2 there in the form of 50 rupees out of Eastern Palace.
Yep. Well, the Eastern Palace Big Key will be in the Eastern Palace Big Key chest.
Absolutely. Some randomizer we've got here.
So, I mean, the biggest thing we're still looking for right now is that Moon Pearl. Still a lot of places it can be, though.
No question about it. Moon Pearl, we know we need at least two items of some form. Well, no, we need one. We have the Titan's Bits. What am I talking about? Wake up, mate. Yeah, Moon Pearl is the big find at this point. That will get them a good amount of access. And with the hammer already in possession, Dark World will be wide open to them at that point.
Yeah, the seed so far looks more like it's going to point towards easy Dark World access. Aga, we still need at least a sword and then either another sword or a cape. So we got Bradley still a little bit behind Sinhe. Sinhe is going to check the big chest here. And that's our third item in Eastern. So Eastern overall was a bust, but you do have the bow, so you can clear it and get the crystal.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see where these players go next after this relative swing and a miss. We say that although Titan's Mitts were in Sahaswala's hut, so hard to complain too hard, I suppose. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see possibly Death Mountain potentially. Death Mountain would absolutely be in logic right now.
Well, Death Mountain, you only have access to 2 items. South Shore, you still have 2 at the dam.
True. Absolutely.
2 at the dam, 5 at Mini Moldorm, and then 1 at the Ice Rod Cave. Plus, you've got plate flippers if you want to go that route.
Mm-hmm.
But the Death Mountain play is still kind of intriguing because with that early lamp, it might be pointing you towards an item on Death Mountain. Sinhe's in the Armos fight, going for the quick kill. Bradley looks like he had a little trouble in the big key room, had to kill all the enemies.
Very nicely done by Sinhe, getting a very well executed Armos kill there, and gets the first crystal of our race just past the 17-minute mark.
So let's see. I'm guessing Sinhe will save and quit. Let's see where he elects to go.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine this year's numbers at South Shore would have to be the play here, honestly.
Yep. Yeah, South Shore, 8 items at least. Plus, you can fake flipper for another 4 if you want. Actually, no, we don't have Moon Pearl yet, so the fake flipper play would be much more limited. You would only be able to check Hobo. And you could swim up to the Zora area, but that is in logic to go check Zora right now. But it's also a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. So let's see what the dam locations have for Sinhe. The first chest going to be the flippers. Very nice find there right before heading to Lake Hylia.
Okay, just ignore everything I just said.
Hard to think of a better scenario to find the flippers at right before heading towards Lake Hylia, and when you already have more than 500 rupees in your possession, that's pretty dang clean, I would say.
Yeah, that's very nice. Sinhe's going to check Mini Moldorm Cave as Bradley is starting his Armos fight. Not quite as clean as Sinhe's, but still gets the job done pretty nicely. Sinhe's going to run out of arrows. Oh, he saves 1. And that was a pretty uninspired Mini Moldorm Cave.
Not a whole lot going there. Just some pieces of heart and the red magical boomerang here. So yeah, looking for a little bit more. But once again, we're working with a seed that gave so much early. It's quite understandable to have quite a few duds in the interim here.
We're gonna get a Ice Rod Cave check from Sinhe. Alright, let's see if this pays off. Nope, just 10 arrows.
Well, when you're on one arrow, I guess you can't complain that much. But yeah, that's not what he was in the mood for sure. Sinhe will be taking a dive here, jumping over the waterfall and heading right back to check the other Lake Hylia spots, probably the hobo, and everything else before warping up to Zora's domain.
Yep, because got 5 more items he can check here, plus he can look at the Lake Hylia island just to get that info. Oh, Bradley's gonna go into Mini Moldorm Cave. Looks like he's gonna smash them with a hammer. And the hobo has the book. Okay. Well, that gives us access to Desert Palace. And depending on if it's boots locked or not, we might be able to full clear it.
Yeah, Desert Palace being yet another crystal, they may be incentivized to go ahead and take a look in there with the newly found literacy there. We will go ahead and see Sinhe complete this sweep of the lake, of course, and we'll see what the waterfall and Zora have in store.
Looks like Bradley's going to ignore Ice Rod Cave, which won't cost him because there was nothing in there. Oh, we get a cape. Now it's the race to see what we find first. Do we find the Moon Pearl or do we find a sword?
Neither on Zora's Ledge, just yet another one of those 20 rupee drops.
Alright, what does Zora have for our 500 rupees today? A life lesson.
Yeah, 4% ROI, not so good. But yeah, life lesson. Take that and run with it.
So it looks like Sinhe is going to follow the book logic, and he's going to head to desert. At this point, I think our options are basically desert, including the Agana Cave, and Death Mountain. That's about all we have left to check.
Pretty much. It's just which corner of the map do you want to invest your time in at this point. Sinhe electing to check desert with that Book of Medora. So we'll see if that was indeed where the logic would point, or if it was more or less just a red herring. So at this point,
that book likes to be a red herring. I don't like that book.
Checking Agina's cave first.
Yeah, I prefer to route this later, but either way. Just because I can save out and quit out of here.
We'll see if that this pays off for Sinhe. We have just some more rupees. And the slow walk out of Agina's cave towards ledge check potentially, or just going straight into the palace.
No, usually not bad. Just to glance at the ledge quick, just in case. And it's just another red rupee.
I haven't kept tally, but we may be in store for all 28 at this rate.
I feel like we've seen at least 10. All right, one chest to check in here, and that'll tell us whether this is boots locked or not. At least to start. Could be partially boots locked, could be fully boots locked.
Bradley getting his valuable life lesson. We'll see if and there's the pearl.
Okay.
Desert Palace was the play, and Sinhe taking no time to take that and move on.
Yep, there's our Dark World access. Aga is dead. Well, he's not dead, but he's going to sit in his tower forever.
Indeed. That also gives us an idea that Desert Palace is some degree of boots locked as well.
Absolutely. We will be finding the boots at some point, which means that shovel in the library could come into play. We get our map check. Pendant, Thieves Town Pendant Pod.
Did not catch the red crystals. Looks like we have one at TR.
It looks like the other one was at Swamp. Alright, so let's see what we get in Hype Cave. Other red rupee to start. Oh, there we go. There's a flute.
That's a little bit of hype worthiness right there. Flute, a progressive shield, piece of heart, and another red rupee to round out the normalization of the value of items there. But the flute is a huge find. That opens up the Meyer location and just allows nicer warping all over the place for the remainder of the seed for Sinhe.
So it looks like he's going to take the lower route here to get into Village of Outcasts. So Pendant Thieves Town is always a tough one to decide on. Do you take the chance to full clear it? Do you partial clear it? Or do you ignore it?
Well, you have the hammer, so full clear is definitely a live possibility at this point. It will just be up to the runner's preferences, I feel, at this point. But with the hammer in tow, it just makes that a little bit more enticing to go ahead and invest the time. But there's so much elsewhere with your hammer and Titansmiths here in the Dark World that you may elect to leave that for later, possibly. But we have the digging game for Sinhe here. Let's see how many digs this will take. And there's the boots after the third dig.
Well, now we've got all of our fast movement out of the way. Bradley does confirm the small keys on the torch. It is Desert is completely boots locked beyond that first room.
No problem for Sinhe, though, with immediately getting those boots right away, and we'll go ahead and reunite the blacksmiths here as well.
Well, he can't.
Well, without the mirror, that's going to be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, and he also can't item dash. He might be about to find that out. No, I think he might have realized that part. No sword, you can't item dash. Bradley is following behind in his footsteps. This has been interesting. Bradley has basically made every single call the same as Sinhe, just a little bit behind him.
Nice Burn Nation icon for Bradley on the map there.
Yeah, Sinhe's going to check these 3 locations in Village of Outcasts. Then I got to imagine he's going to save and quit to bring the blacksmith back. Yeah, Bradley picks up his flute.
This is the point where you might finally see some divergence between these runners potentially here, although Bradley so far not willing to comply with that. Our runner's really in the mood for, obviously some swords would be very nice. Mirror and the rods, definitely high on their shopping list as well.
Oh, how's a bug net instead?
Yeah, sure. And at the very least, one medallion as well. Very likely two.
Yeah, we're still quite a bit away from go mode. We have several items still to find.
So I'm going to go ahead and take a peek at the Bumper Cave while in this area, and we have a sword on Bumper Cave.
Yeah. So he does have the cape to collect it, but because he has the blacksmith in tow, he can't go up there.
Bradley getting his boots out of the digging game, and we'll be dashing along to other spots here.
I think Sinhe's going to check the couple boots lock locations before taking the blacksmith back.
Yeah, I like this routing a lot from Sinhe here.
And Bradley is still following like Sinhe's every move, it seems like.
Surely there's going to be some divergence at some point, question mark?
You would think so. I mean, they've had a lot of open possibilities to them. It's been very interesting to see them follow the same path, and there's Fire Rod. Now, Bradley, okay, he's just opening that. He can't go in with the Frogsmith either.
At this point, we'll take any variation we can get.
And Sinhe's going to activate his flute. All right, let's see. Sinhe's going to obviously go take the blacksmith back quick, and then we'll see which way he goes. Bradley's also going to get to see the sword on the top of Bumper Cave.
And subsequently be unable to enter said Bumper Cave as well. Meanwhile, the blacksmiths have reunited. And let's see what their reward for the kindness is.
I don't think Bradley realizes he can't take the Frogsmith in there.
That is one annoyed dragon right now.
So with the boots, Sinhe's going to go ahead and finish up Desert. So we still have one more item in Desert to get, and we also do need to clear it because it is a crystal. Yeah, I mean, we still have a lot of items. We need the ice rod, need 2 medallions most likely, need the cane of Samaria, need the mirror, need 2 swords. We are still far away from thinking about go mode.
Pretty much the full kit with Mire and Turtle Rock both being crystals, so not much our runners can skip here. It's going to pretty much be the full your standard loadout here.
Yeah, because of the dungeon layout. Every item you need for pod, you need for another dungeon. Thieves' Town has very little requirements, and Ice Palace, we've already got the items you would need to access Ice Palace anyway.
Potential pedestal shenanigans may be in line here with these dungeons being pendants, but we'll see if that ever comes to pass or not here. Meanwhile, Bradley playing the anthem and getting the flute activated while Sinhe is on the way to going to the big key chest. and seeing if they can't get that last item.
And Bradley is... Okay, here we got some divergence. Bradley's going to go to Meyer.
See if we can't identify the medallion Meyer will require for entry. It
looked like Ether. Yeah, there's the first bottle. Can finally check the sick kid. And yep, that's all you can do in the Meyer area right now. Yeah, Bradley's not going to check these bonk spots that Sinhe already checked. He'll get his fire rod.
I do believe the blacksmiths are still separated on Bradley's seed, if I saw that correctly. So.
Oh, he didn't take the blacksmith back?
Oh, he did. Never mind. Disregard all that. I must have miscounted that.
Yeah, because I didn't think he dumped the blacksmiths. I'd be very surprised if he did. Alright, so let's see how this Landmola fight goes. Landmola does have an item. Fire Rod makes it a bit easier. And that's about as textbook as you can get for a Landmola fight.
Just an air capacity upgrade to clear out Desert Palace's item pool, and we'll see where Sinhe goes after getting crystal number 2 out of the Desert Palace just a little after 36 minutes in.
So Bradley's grabbing a potion. You can also take that bottle and see what sick kid has. Sinhe... Okay, I think Sinhe's going to make the same check Bradley just made and look at the Meyer area. Bradley not checking the sick kid just yet. He is going to head back here. Now, will he head into Skull Woods or Thieves Town?
Looking like the latter so far, or neither. Just going up to get that sword at long last.
Yeah, I need to get the sword at least to full clear Skull Woods. Yeah, well, with that sword, Skull Woods would be fully in logic.
Nicely timed hammer shot there to get rid of one of those bats from hell, as I like to call them. And Sinhe now going to check the sick kid.
Just a heart container. Neither runner has elected to go grab that shovel yet.
So also using this opportunity to pick up a blue pot, a couple of little frustration slashes out of Bradley there after getting that sword and taking a lot of damage, and down goes Bradley. A lot of damage can be had in that screen with just the green mail, and Bradley takes an untimely death for sure.
Yeah, you got to be careful around those birds. Shouldn't cost him too much time, but still, I'd never like to see that. I think Sinhe's going to make the same play here, going to go pick up his sword.
And now let's see if it's going to be Skullwoods or Thieves for Bradley.
I mean, both have their merits. Skullwoods has 2 items with crystal, Thieves Town 4 items but a pendant, and Bradley's going to go for Skullwoods. So Skullwoods it's a good, you can full clear it, but it's got to be a little scary right now. You do have 10 hearts, but you only have green mail and a fighter sword.
Yeah, it's definitely a risky play if you're not 100% comfortable with the Mothula fight, but I can certainly understand wanting to go for it at this point in the seed, for sure. At the very least, see if you can get those 2 items with relative speed here. Just the map in the first check. We'll check this northern room here, hopefully find a key. If not, we'll have to dip down into the southern bumper room.
Well, there's a key, but it won't fit that door.
Yep, I should have been more specific. But big key's nice. You can go ahead and check the big key chest in this routing as well. But I'm gonna have to go through this bounce house here before getting the ability to do that.
So I think both of them had the Skullwoods playing mind now, thinking about it, because they both went for the potion. Meaning they want to have that potion for Mothula, just in case.
That definitely makes a lot of sense. Yeah, they had this in mind for some time, for sure, with that routing to the second war point there. No question.
Both are trying to do the bomb jump. Bradley gets it first try. I think Sinhe's got it on his second. But just a heart container.
So that's half of the items here in Skull. The last item will either will be in the back half here, and it looks like they are both going to go for it at this moment.
Yep, Sinhe's going to go ahead and check this room first. I've seen some runners elect to skip this room when they don't have the cane and just hope it has nothing and just go straight to the back half.
Yeah, which would not be a crazy play here, especially since you're probably going to have to be if you don't save and quit and just walk out, you'd be walking right by this room anyways. So Sinhe going to go ahead and take the magic refill and get a nice pickup from that Wallmaster.
Meanwhile, Bradley takes a death. If you're having trouble with the Gibdos, you can use the boomerang to stun them. And that is not a bad idea in this room, especially with the fighter sword. Though you can also just take out the fire rod and burn them. Come on, Trogdor, you're the burninator. You're not burning them?
Get in character, come on, what are you doing? All right, Bradley will be pulling that statue, and we'll get those contents of this location here.
Let's see. Yeah, Sinhe's gonna take out that fire rod, probably gonna burn some of these Gibdos.
Bradley trying to get that Wallmaster to drop a little bit faster, but takes that easy return back to the entrance and will be on his way towards Mothula. Meanwhile, Sinhe is just a couple rooms away from initiating that fight.
He didn't need to grab that key, though. Alright, let's see how Sinhe's Mothula fight goes. 10 hearts, green mail, and fighter sword. A little risky, but he's got a potion just in case. Oh, and he does have the hammer, so he can do hammer strats, but in this fight, it's a little tricky.
Mm-hmm. Bradley electing to get a death warp here to restore most of its health back. Took a lot of damage en route to the back Swamp Skull Woods room here, so understandable death there.
Very nice fight from Sinhe. There's our second item, but just 10 arrows, so Skull Woods also empty. Unfortunately, no mirror, so that means no ped check. He's gonna walk out of Skull Woods. So I think he might be thinking Thieves Town. Ooh, Bradley's getting a bit bullied by those enemies. I'm not sure why he didn't just go straight to the... What's he doing?
Yeah, this is... I'm drawing a blank here as well. You have the key. Maybe just looking for some magic drops, perhaps? I'm trying to understand the reasoning here.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been health. He lost more health than he gained in there.
Meanwhile, Sinhe is going to start Thieves Town, at the very least the first 4. We have arrow capacity there.
Alright, Bradley's on his Mothula fight. He's a little low on health, but he does have a blue potion.
Some green goo for Sinhe in Thieves Town as well.
Just a first 4 check in there. He's noping out. And that was actually 3 of the 4 items, I believe.
Absolutely. So with only 1 item left, makes sense to go ahead and take 75% and be happy with it that quickly. Meanwhile, Mothula is down for Bradley, and that is Skullwoods cleared for him as well.
Now, Sinhe is heading up to Death Mountain. This is our first check up here. These runners had access up here since about 10 minutes into the seed. So, this is items you could have gotten a while ago. So let's see what they could have gotten. Now, it's still just 2 items up here. They don't have access to East Death Mountain yet, because no hookshot or mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after that, though... Well, you've got Pod you could full clear, but that's a pendant.
Still have Pyramid and Catfish in that area as well. That may be where they decide to go next, potentially.
I mean, right now the play might be Pod, but... I mean, you definitely don't like going in there with a pendant, but it's still 5 items. You also do have Ice Palace access. Logically, you might not be able to complete it because you might need the hookshot or the cane, but you could go in at least. And if you can bomb jump, you can full clear it right now. But again, it's a pendant.
Spectacle Rock, we see, just has more arrow capacity available, and we have even more arrow capacity within Spectacle Rock.
So, Spectacle Rock a bust. Sinhe could have elected to go for Spike Cave, but decided to flute away.
Maybe an Ice Palace play here?
Looks like he's heading that way. Yeah, he is...
Wow, Firesword and Green Mail Ice Palace. Not what you'd like, but he's going to go ahead and take the dive in here and see what it has in store.
He's got plenty of magic. He's got a blue potion and a green potion. 3 items in here plus the green pendant. But he will need to... I mean, I'm pretty sure he can bomb jump. He will have to bomb jump to be able to fully clear this.
I'll see if Bradley is satisfied with just those initial 3 items here, or he goes ahead and proceeds further into Thieves Town.
Yeah, he is going to go further into Thieves Town. 1 more item in here. It is pendant, but we don't know what pedestal is yet, so... If you get that item, it's going to be interesting to see if he clears it or not.
Small key in the first chest of ice. That could really make the routing in Ice Palace a lot cleaner, and not have to involve that hook shot.
I think a key there means that you don't need the hook shot to clear this. Sinhe's going to take out these Stalfos quick.
Yep, nice 2 for 1 on that bomb on those Stalfos Knights. Let's see if they can execute the IPPJ here coming up.
Yep, got a first try.
Yep, looked like on the very last possible frame, too. Very nicely done by Sinhe there. And Bradley making sure that those lizards do not spell his doom. He only gets the map, though, out of that chest before presumably bombing to reveal the light for blind.
Yeah, those green little cricket monster things, they do 2 hearts of damage, despite the fact that they do not look like they'd be that tough. Sinhe is heading left first. Maybe just to check this chest and I'll go back upstairs.
That would make sense here. Let's see if Freezor Room just has the map, and he is indeed retreating back up to go eastward.
So I'm going to take a little bit of damage without the hook shot here. Does have the cape if he wants to avoid the damage.
Recognizes that hard drop and goes ahead and picks that up. Definitely could use whatever health you can. You don't have many safeties available to you here besides what potions you may still have in your possession here. So let's see what this chest has here. That is yet another key for our Ice Palace clearance.
Yeah. Assuming there's not a key on Cold Stare, logically I believe this dungeon is full clearable. If there's a key on Cold Stare, the logic does intend you to have the cane to finish it. Oh, Bradley takes a death.
Yeah, Bradley was living on the edge there for a lot of that Thieves Town clearance, and unfortunately takes a death before finding that 4th and final item of Thieves Town.
Oh, there's the mirror on Sinhe's side.
That is a huge find for Sinhe. That is a huge payoff for this Ice Palace play.
So Ice Palace, you absolutely have to dive. And Bradley's going to continue through Thieves Town.
For Bradley's sake, I certainly hope there is something of value here in this final Thieves Town item. He has invested a lot of time here. I'd like to at least see something gained from it.
So that mirror gives Sinhe access to East Death Mountain, as well as Hera.
That is very correct. Some of Swamp, not all, without the hook shot, of course. That's definitely not going to be in the top of Sinhe's mind, you would think. But yeah, Death Mountain now fully open and active.
Sinhe skipped the big key chest. He might have all 3 items. I'm not sure. Or no, I wonder if that was a little bit of a mistake. No, he's just gonna go get some. He's gonna get some fairies. Yeah, Sinhe might have been counting his items. He might have known what was there.
I saw 2. I was not paying 100% attention, so there very well may have been the 3rd. I did not catch it, but that would certainly explain just walking past a big chest, unless the big key somehow has not been collected, which I believe it has. There's the mushroom for Bradley in a blind cell.
So that's the 4th item, and I think he's thinking about killing blind. Yeah, he's going to go for it and kill blind.
At this point, given all the investment, I do not blame. Even the slimmest chance that pedestal comes into play, this would be a huge gain for Bradley here versus leaving that pendant behind. Meanwhile, Cold Stare starting here for Sinhe.
Meanwhile, I think Sinhe did get all 3 items, because I think the 2 items that would be left in here are the compass and a small key.
That appears to be correct. Hammer strats for Sinhe, very ambitious with just the green mail and fighter sword. I certainly understand, and down to 1 hit. Very nicely done by Sinhe, and blind going down on Bredley's side as well. Getting the cane of Samaria from Sinhe.
Oh,
Ice Palace has the goods, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, that paid off big time for Sinhe. I guess I did miscount. He just missed the Ice Palace chest, but it's not going to hurt him. And yeah,
That's right. Wow, what a gamble and a huge payout for Sinhe. Goodness.
So that is... Ice Palace is absolutely 100% required.
And the advantage Sinhe now has over Bredley with that play is, to put it lightly, significant.
Now, Sinhe's going to go turn in the green pendant right away, too. He didn't go to the portal, so I don't think he's going to make a pod check, which makes sense. Pod's a pendant, and you've got all of Death Mountain now accessible. So you can hold on Pod for now.
Yeah, unless the seed is incredibly trolly, I think there's a good chance that all the pendant dungeon shenanigans may have just been completed there with that Ice Palace completion. But time will tell in that regard.
And I think Sinhe's going to go pick up another potion before heading up there. Looking at what he's got, in theory, if he finds the ice rod up here, well, he'd also need a medallion. But if he finds an ice rod in the medallion, there is a possibility of a peek into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we still have all of East Death Mountain, Light World, and Dark World, for that matter. So there's plenty of items to be collected here. So it's not outside the realm of possibility that TR could still possibly be an option once all is said and done here. So they're going to be going up to a Spectacle Rock here and going to likely pop into Tower of Hera on his way towards Eastern Death Mountain here.
Now, Bradley's turning in the mushroom. This could be big. If that mushroom yields something, that'll give Bradley back into this race.
Absolutely. Let's see what our drugs are for today.
Just blue mail. Nice upgrade, but not required.
And just couch cash at Ether Tablets, and is going to take heed of that advice and move right along into the Tower of Hera.
We also still have that shovel that's sitting in library that nobody has looked to go pick up. Or is Bradley heading there now? No, he never checks that kid. Meanwhile, basement required in Hera today. Okay, yeah, I think Bradley's going for that shovel.
One fetch quest deserves another.
So another important moment here. If this shovel leads to something.
Meanwhile, Sinhe is taking his regularly scheduled coffee break.
All right, Bradley, what are you gonna get?
How about a sword? Let's get a sword along with the mail that the mushroom provided.
That'd be nice. Nope, just a piece of heart.
Yeah, my crystal ball is a little too foggy, I guess. Oh well. Well, Sinhe getting the big key out of the basement of Hera here, and we'll begin his ascent towards Moldorm.
Brother's gonna save the old man. We'll stick to a Spectacle Rock check. He's not gonna find anything, unfortunately. Right, we know what Bradley needs to do at this point. He needs to make the Ice Palace dip. Because it's one of those seeds where Hookshot and Samaria are not required to complete Ice Palace.
And there's the second item in the form of yet another 20 rupee there for Sinhe. So Sinhe is going to make a beeline for Moldorm here and get that crystal.
Did he get both items? He's going. Check.
Oh, maybe not. Oh, nope. Excuse, he doesn't have the hook shot. Pardon me. So it looks like Moldorm will have the second item. I should trust my my recall a little bit more clearly.
And you could have elected the bomb jump there too, but if you're not comfortable with that bomb jump, then going around is safer. Though with boots, it's not a hard bomb jump to pull off. We're going to see some hammer strats on Moldorm.
Yeah, just 5 well-placed hammer pounds to take out Moldorm. Very much preferable to the double the swipes with your fighter sword. Down goes Moldorm right as the hour turns over to 1 hour. And just some more bomb capacity for Sinhe.
I think Bradley is now going to go make the pod play. Which, we don't know what's in there yet. Still that could yield something good for him. We do know he needs to get to Ice Palace, but pod could still have quite a few items in there.
Now, with the bow and the hammer and the lamp, this is fully clearable at this point for Bradley. We'll see if there's anything of value here among the 5 items in pod. We certainly know that the Ice Palace Pendant Dungeon so far is certainly the one with the biggest bounty.
So Sinhe's going to go into the Dark World from here. Check the Turtle Rock. Not a bad play because he can route it pretty well with Mirror as well.
We're about to see what Turtle Rock's going to want to enter it. And Ether again.
So only 1 medallion needed. Just Ether.
Just some money and bombs in the Super Bunny Cave for Sinhe. Let's see. Goes ahead into Mirrors to access Spiral Cave from up here, or where else he decides to go.
He's got hook. Well, he's Hookshot Cave. He can only grab 1 chest in here right now. Oops. The spacing on these bonks to get to this chest is a little rough.
There it goes. Let's see what these 2 bonks lead to. Just another big 20.
Yeah, he's gonna check Spiral Cave and then come around, check Paradox Cave. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he elects to do if he does by chance find Ether up here. Well, Bradley's still going through pod. Not found much yet. But usually pod items are in the back. Alright, let's see Paradox Cave. Oh, Bradley picks up a Master Sword.
That's a pretty significant find for Bradley at this point, depending on where these other swords may find themselves here, but that is a level 2 sword for Bradley now. Let's see what Sinhe has here in the 5 chests here in Paradox Cave. There's your Ether.
He could go into Turtle Rock right now. And there's another sword. And a bottle.
So much of that slight advantage Bradley had over Sinhe there. Sinhe equalizing the sword situation just within a minute of Bradley getting its Master Sword in a completely different part of the world. And Sinhe has not quit out here, so maybe a Turtle Rock play is in the cards.
No, he's got the flute out. He's not going to
do that. That's true. That's true.
So where will Sinhe... Is
this a Swamp Dive?
This would be a really bit of a risky play with the Swamp Dive because you don't have Hookshot yet.
Or maybe this is Sinhe on it. Well, he flew to 5. He was going to pod, so not that.
He could also go into Mire. He does have... He has the means to full clear Mire, but he's gonna go to Swamp. Oh, no. He's gonna go check the ether or the tablet.
The Bombos tablet, certainly.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, definitely was a little confused there momentarily, but let's see what Bombos has for Sinhe. The ether tablet just didn't really have a whole lot to speak for. Let's see if Bombos can make up for that.
Bradley found Quake in Pod, but unfortunately that's not needed in this seed. Oh! Wow!
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Okay, you can full clear Turtle Rock now. And you can full clear Mire. I think
we're go, but here.
We're not quite go mode yet. We still need the hook shot.
We still need hook shot, but that's just all we're looking for at this point for Sinhe.
Oh, but we missed it on Bradley's side. Bradley got the hook shot in Pod.
Oh my goodness, what a miss on my part. My apologies, guys. That is a huge find for Bradley. Now it's just, when will these people dive into the respective pendant dungeon that they respectively have in at this point? That's going to be the determining factor here.
So yeah, and he got silvers in Pod too. So Pod is also required.
Version 29, ladies and gentlemen.
So unfortunately, the only dungeon you don't have to really go into in this seed is Thieves Town. Yes, in our terms, this does put us in quote-unquote no mode. Yeah, Sinhe is going to clear out Misery Mire. I gotta admit, he might go straight for Turtle Rock after this. But he's got to get over to Pod to finish the seed. With 2 crystal dungeons that he can full clear available, it might take him a while.
Looks like Bradley's going to take advantage of those silver arrows and take care of King Helmasaur as well. And that's probably not going to be worth his while, but I can certainly understand wanting to go ahead and make sure that Pod is completely off your list here.
Yeah, I haven't counted the items, so I don't know if Pod still has an item or not. If Bradley pauses, we can see if he has the map and compass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the other nice thing with that hook shot is it might send Bradley to Ice Palace. Okay, so Bradley does have both the map and compass. That means Helmasaur does have an item.
Sinhe finding one of the Mire items in the form of a big 20 there in that chest.
Alright, so we got Sinhe continuing through Mire. Bradley's gonna make his fight on Helmasaur in just a minute here. There's the second item in Mire. So, the one disadvantage at this point for Sinhe is that this is not going to be the kindest Vitreous fight.
Indeed not. Wisely picking up that full magic pot in order to use the Canis Amari to proceed here. Yeah, looks like Probably going to be activating, using a good majority of those 42 arrows he has in store. Possibly, that would be probably how I would look at it at this point, given my weapon loadout. We'll see if Sinhe likes to do that, or maybe utilize some iframes to get some spin slashes in potentially, but his health is rather low as well.
He does have the cape, so you can use that as well.
That is true. Meanwhile, Helmasaur is down, and just some bombs for Bradley and the Pendant of Power.
Yeah, in terms of Vitreous fights, this won't be the worst, but it definitely won't be the best. I've seen Fighter Sword Vitreous. That is not fun.
Oof, my stomach just turned at the thought, hearing that. Ugh.
Yeah, he's got the cape out. He's going to use cape strats on Vitreous. So as long as you keep swinging your sword, you won't use cape magic. But I think Sinhe's just going to blow through his potions.
Well, Bradley has left Pod here. Let's see where he decides to go from here. Looks like maybe a pyramid/catfish check here for Bradley.
Down goes Vitreous. That will be Sinhe's 5th crystal.
Yep, looks like he just has Turtle Rock and Swamp to defeat to claim the remaining crystals here. Whether Pod gets checked in between those, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I gotta imagine he's gonna go for Turtle Rock. Yep, no, he's going to 2. He's gonna pick up potions. I think he's gonna go to Turtle Rock.
Yep, floating presumably to 1. No, he's not. Swamp?
Is he gonna make the Swamp play? He can't come this way for the tablet again. I mean, if he goes in this Swamp right now, which it looks like he does, no, he's gonna go check Cave 45 or the caves out of the grove first. We'll see if he decides to route back to the Swamp after this.
And we just had another 20 rupees from the catfish. Let's see what K45 has inside. Just another heart container, which Sinhe will elect to forego.
14 hearts, which is nice, but you're only at green mail, so that's a little rough. So with the hookshot, Bradley can come up here now and check East Death Mountain. He'll get a Tempered Sword. I don't know if he'll get Tempered Sword and Ether. And yeah, I think Sinhe is going to go gamble on Swamp. So this will give Bradley some time to catch up, because we know Sinhe will not find the hookshot in here.
And Bradley now with blue mail and presumably the Tempered Sword here. That may make Ice Palace a little bit more appealing, if you will. So maybe that will nudge Bradley in the direction that we know he needs to go.
Yeah, the longer it takes Sinhe to go into the pod to get the hookshot, the more time Bradley will have to catch up in this race. Of course, the item that could get Bradley at this point is that Ice Rod, which is on the Bombos tablet. But hopefully, for Bradley, when he goes to get through Swamp, he'll take the opportunity to go check that Bombos tablet. And if he does, he could get into go mode at reasonable time. He just needs to go to Ice Palace.
Yeah, needs to find that mirror to be able to conveniently do that. We'll see. Sinhe now on his way through the Swamp. I didn't see what was in that first chest, unfortunately.
Might have been the compass. But I have to imagine for Bradley, he's gonna go clear Hera first, which is a good play. Get it out of the way.
Absolutely. And
Unfortunately, without the mirror, he can't go Dark World right now if he wants to also clear out Hera. There's our 4th sword in Swamp.
I'm not sure where were the silvers in relation to the hook shot, but I imagine once Sinhe gets that hook shot, he is done with pod. So that may mean that Sinhe will go without the silvers. I forget in what progression they found those items, but that might be something that comes to play later on.
It's definitely possible. Sinhe's gonna check the left side of Swamp here, and then most likely head out, and we'll see where he just likes to go next. Yeah, so it looks like according to chat, based on where those items are, it's unlikely that Sinhe would pick up silvers if he elects to warp out right after getting them. But if he were to do a bomb jump, which generally don't do in this standard mode, but you might see it, he could, by chance, get that early. Yeah, unfortunately, Sinhe, without the hookshot, he has to go around to do this twice.
And without the mirror, Bradley having to do a death warp to get back to the entrance of the Tower of Hera here.
So last item Sinhe can get as Bradley begins his climb. Yeah. So unfortunately for Sinhe, he does pick up the Tempered Sword in Swamp, but beyond that, no other items that really helped him.
Looks like we might now be getting that TR play at this point.
Yeah, I can't blame him for making this one because it's a clearable dungeon. You get 6 items between it and Mimic Cave. You might as well get it out of the way just in case Hookshot's there.
Yeah, Turtle Rock go mode versus not is not a whole lot of difference here. This is not going to be a huge time loss here doing this, and with 5 items, certainly a very appetizing place to go. Since you're going to have to eventually clear it anyway, may as well go ahead and do it and hopefully achieve go mode at the same time. It is going to make the torch room a little bit more cumbersome without the hook shot, but for all Sinhe knows, that may be just part of the seed.
So Bradley's jumping down to his Moldorm fight. Spin and a slash to take down Moldorm. Though poking doesn't count as a slash, and I think he just sent Moldorm enraged. Oh.
Oh, and taking a very untimely dive after a spin and a couple of pokes. This is going to have to take a second round to take Moldorm out here.
Thought he had more than enough damage on Moldorm. That was surprising. There he goes. Gets to the second attempt. And he's not happy.
And I doubt that bomb capacity did much to improve his mood.
So my guess is Bradley will head over to East Death Mountain now in the Dark World and pick up the... Well, he'll be able to go in the Hookshot Cave. Unfortunately, we know he's not going to find much in there. Sinhe wisely takes the long route in here because he knows he does not have the hookshot.
It's like preparing to use the cave to get through the roller room here. There's the big key for Turtle Rock, so that's out of the way. Going to need to still collect some small keys, and he's going to be full clearing this anyway. So, but there's the big key there, so that we know where that is located now for Turtle Rock.
Now Bradley can open Turtle Rock as well. Thankfully for him, at least, he can't go in because he doesn't have Samaria yet.
Well, he could, just won't be able to go much far in there. But yes, definitely need the Samaria Cane to get anywhere in Turtle Rock without the benefit of some insane hover strats. And it looks like Bradley is going to go ahead and survey the Hookshot Cave. At a later point.
So, not much we're looking at right now. We know Sinhe's going through Turtle Rock. Let's see what Bradley does find in here.
Yep, there's the red rupee we knew was there previously from Sinhe. While Sinhe gets a blue rupee from the vanilla big key in Turtle Rock, we had a heart container there. More arrows. The ability to carry said arrows, that is. And
no. Yeah, that's... Okay, I was about to say, did he throw too many pots? No, he didn't. Oh. That's kind of adding insult to injury.
You might say that. Sinhe getting both of those pokies there done in one go. Meanwhile, Bradley maybe going to Spike Cave?
Yeah, I think he's at the Spike Cave. Sinhe's going to give us a Mimic Cave check. I think just based on some of Bradley's frustration slashes, he's getting a bit mad at this point.
I can only relate all too well while we get a 50 rupee drop from the Mimic Cave on Sinhe's screen. Let's see what Spike Cave has. It's not going to be what Bradley wants, but let's see what he gets all the same.
Just an arrow upgrade as Sinhe grabs the map. So Bradley needs to go to Ice Palace. That's really what's going to get him on track.
Perhaps this life refill is something to do before. No, continuing to remain here in Death Mountain.
What else does he have to check up here?
I'm drawing a blank at this point, unless he thinks he can go into Turtle Rock.
Oh, I think Chad might be pointing out he might have skipped Spiral Cave.
Ah, yes, that does seem correct, actually. I don't recall going round and round on that screen. Sinhe going ahead and picking up some of the drops there in the eastern portion of this one of the final rooms of Turtle Rock before encountering the laser bridge.
There's our blue cane.
getting it ready for immediate use.
He takes a hit from those lasers, puts the cane into use right away after that. Yeah, with green mail, those lasers do 4 hearts of damage.
It turns out the game really didn't intend you to go into Turtle Rock with just the green mail, but welcome to Randomizer.
Alright, so Sinhe's going to go into his Trinex fight with Tempered Sword and some potions. He should be fine. Bradley is going back to Desert, which not a bad clear idea because he can finish it. But Sinhe is just making quick work of Trinex.
Down to 3 hearts, and down goes Sinhe.
Oh, man. And he didn't take the safety door. So that'll put him back outside the door for Mimic Cave.
Yep, a temporary setback for Sinhe, but presumably should be able to take care of this in round 2. But looking ahead, at this point for Sinhe, I can't think of many more lucrative options after this Turtle Rock clearance. So maybe Pod will be where Sinhe goes after this. I don't know if he's checked Spike Cave yet, and I don't believe he has, so maybe do that first. But I got to think the options are getting kind of low here for Sinhe after this.
Yeah, there's not a lot left. He's already been through the front of Thieves Town, so he knows there's only 1 item left in there. He's been through the front of Swamp. Like, Pod is the only place he hasn't touched.
And Pyramid Fairy is Swamp, so that is not going to be our hookshot location for obvious reasons there. So, yeah, kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point.
Yeah, he needs to make this. He needs to make the Pod play, which he's going to be forced into shortly. And on the other side, I think Bradley's going to be forced into the Ice Palace play shortly.
Key thing though, Sinhe is just looking for that 1 item, while Bradley is looking for multiple items in the Ice Rod and the Mirror. So while Sinhe will be able to just take that hook shot and get out of Pod, Bradley will be incentivized to full clear ice, which we'll want to do anyway for the Cane of Samaria. But still, that's a major advantage Sinhe currently has, as he is currently dealing with Trinex the 2nd time.
Yeah, he's popping his potion early, not taking any risks. And that was a quick 2nd phase of Trinex, and we'll see where Sinhe elects to go next, as Bradley makes his way to Landmola's. Yeah, I think he might go just check Spike Cave just because he's up here, and then after that, I don't know what he would elect to do. I would hope it would be Pod, but we'll see. Standing in front of Ganon's tower, I think he wants to go in, but he can't until he finds that hookshot. And Bradley is on his Landmola's fight.
And getting his arrow capacity upgrade out of the Spike Cave, preserving as much magic as he possibly could without falling to his demise there. And we'll see, goes ahead and gets the full refill from the priest, and let's see where he decides to flute to from here.
Yeah, first to 2, another potion stop. Oh, he went to 3.
Is he going to do a ped check?
He might.
Or maybe just checking that final Thieves Town chest.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna go Thieves Town. Or he's got the mirror up. What is he planning? Oh, Graveyard Ledge.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. Yes. Graveyard Ledge, and see what that contains, as that has not been checked by either runner, as Bradley still is going without the mirror at this point.
I think Sinhe is trying to do whatever he can to avoid pod. And unfortunately, he needs to go into pod. But yeah, Bradley is opening Mire, and he's going to do a bird toss. But this is going to cost him time, unfortunately. It's not a bad play, but unfortunately, you got to make the ice dive.
Yeah, Bradley is going to be locked out without the Canis Amare, which we know is being hoarded by Cold Stare. And until Bradley makes that aforementioned dive, this is going to be blocked. Okay, so I see what Sid is doing. Did not check Catfish, so he was routing this all together in one fell swoop. Very understandable routing here from Sinhe. Just and hopefully this is en route to a pod check.
And he might actually be routing this all, because he could come from here, also check the pyramid, because I don't think he's checked that either yet.
Mm-hmm. Providing the Catfish a very wide berth in anticipation of not getting the payout, and indeed it wasn't. Just yet another one of those 20 rupee drops, and Sinhe is moving on, likely to a pyramid check and beyond.
Yep, going for the pyramid next. So just to kind of recap where we're at this point, in terms of what the runners needs, for those who haven't been watching along. Sinhe is just the hook shot away from go mode, and the hook shot is in Pendant Pod. Bradley needs the mirror, the cane, and the ice rod. Mirror and cane are both in Ice Palace, and then the ice rod is at the Bombos tablet.
Mm-hmm. Now, if we get the benefit of an interview from Sinhe here, I'll be very curious to see what his mindset was at this point, because, I mean, knowing that you dipped into Swamp where you didn't necessarily have to, or he will be finding that out presumably, and basically checking practically everything else before this, I'm wondering how he feels personally his chances are at this point. We know he's significantly ahead, but Sinhe obviously doesn't have that benefit of knowledge.
Yep, Sinhe is making his pod dive. He will get that hook shot shortly. Bradley doing full check of Mire here. I didn't see this chest from Sinhe, but we know it was nothing because Sinhe did get both items in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sinhe elected to leave this check for the very last, and paid off as he did locate all the items and the big key prior to revealing this. So, yep, just the map there from the vanilla big key chest, and there's Golden Sword for Sinhe.
So Sinhe's going to check right side, just a couple keys, I believe, on this side. Bradley's got 2 more chests he can check, and then he'll be locked out of Mire. Actually, no, he knows that's the second item, so he's done Mire right there. All right, Bradley, come on, let's see you go to Ice Palace. Making a potion stop. I think that's a sign he's prepping for it. And he's filling up his magic. I think this is the Ice Palace play. So I mean, I can't blame Bradley for waiting so long to go into Ice Palace because it's just a dungeon you generally hate to go through. Unfortunately, in his case, it just is not going to pay off by holding it off so long.
It may have just been a matter of your comfort level with just the green mail and fighter sword. Even, I mean, I am not a fan of Ice Palace myself. Sinhe making the ambitious play with just those resources and it paying off huge.
Yeah, that is right. Sinhe came in here earlier with just fighter sword and green mail. And yeah, it does not look appealing at all with just those.
Particularly Cold Stare, which already hits like a truck as is, even with some armor and green mail. That is a very a dicey fight, to say the least. But Sinhe navigated that very nicely with just the hammer as well. And it looks like we may have a hammer jump indeed, or at least getting the bomb jump, or at least that bomb already taken care of from Sinhe from the right side there, getting Quake from that chest. And we'll go in the blue review room here and see if we can't get that hook shot.
I gotta imagine he'll probably mirror out right after this.
There it is. And immediately out he goes.
So he will not have silvers, but at 1 hour 36 minutes, he is in go mode. And I have to imagine, when you get to go mode at 1 hour 36 minutes, you've got to be feeling like you're behind.
And when you flute to the wrong location, you got to feel like you're even more behind.
So the only part about this that's going to hurt Sinhe is he does not have powder, he does not have green mail. So it's going to make a climb up Ganon's tower a little rough, but should be manageable.
Yeah, with 3 bottles, he can stock up on up to 3 blue potions just to give him that extra security. So now whether he'll be, if he feels pressured enough, he may want to try and cut that corner, but it may be in his best interest just to go ahead and ensure that there will be no setbacks during the Ganon's Tower ascension.
Yeah, Bradley's continuing through Ice Palace. Should head to the right here shortly and grab his mirror, and then hopefully he can snooze on the Cold Stare. Sinhe already clearing out the front half, can get through this dungeon pretty fast.
Yep, normally it's a cause for celebration to go mode Swamp Palace. Kind of a muted celebration hour with Sinhe already pretty much clearing everything but what you would normally do get in go mode.
So let's see what Bradley does after he picks up this mirror.
I hope Bradley shows some restraint and doesn't just immediately get out of here. Looks like he will go ahead and full clear.
Okay, that's good. He'll get his cane as well. Sinhe is just running through Swamp Palace I don't think he's checking anything else. He just wants to get through the rest of the seed. Yep, Sinhe will head into his Argus fight as Bradley continues his checks through Ice Palace. And we know the other item is on Cold Stare. Sinhe just cutting through Argus.
See if we can get a one-shot kill from Sinhe here. Fire Rod, and almost gets it, but Argus jumps up before that slash can connect. And Argus down. Very nicely done by Sinhe, getting another big 24 trebles. That is the 7th crystal right at the 100th minute for Sinhe. And Sinhe will be on his way to GT to put the seed in his rearview mirror. Surely not a moment too soon for him.
So, as Sinhe climbs for Ganon's tower, we've got a little game we like to play. Not an official game on these channels, but we can still play the game. There are 22 chests in Ganon's tower. One of them has the big key. Where do you think that big key will be?
Yep, feel free to throw out a number. Any number between 1 and 22 would be a valid response. I don't really have a preference here, so I'm just gonna pick the first number that comes to my mind, which in this case was the number 15.
It's usually the number I pick.
Oh, okay, I'll go 11.
Well, we can both pick 15. Don't have to use different numbers.
We need to double the chances. We need to be right here.
Fair enough. Alright, Bradley is falling into his Cold Stare fight.
Bradley not able to corral Cold Stare into the corner to get some easy triple hits in, but let's see if Bradley can still take care of Cold Stare without. There's one of the 3 down.
Takes a Cold Stare hit there. Oh, he's got to be careful. One more Cold Stare hug, he's dead. And there is his cane. So let's see what Bradley elects to do now.
Meanwhile, Sinhe beginning his Ganon's Tower clearance. First 2 chests having Bombos and a small key, respectively. And it looks like with that small key, Sinhe is going to go ahead and go down the right side.
Bradley's fluting away, and he's heading to 4, so it looks like he's heading towards Swamp. Or is he going to go turn the green pendant in first? Yeah, he's going to turn the green pendant as Sinhe checks these next chests. Oh, there's powder. That's a nice safety for the climb.
And a full heart container as well, and a few rupees after that. So we're through the right side here. Let's see if Sinhe goes ahead and completes the right side. Nope, just gets that small key, and it will start down the left half.
You know, looking at Bradley's rage slashes, he's really got to feel behind.
Yeah, getting that Cane of Samaria just after getting roadblocked in Mire by that very same Cane of Samaria, yeah, that's an awful feeling that's got to be going through Bradley right now.
So, Bradley just needs that Ice Rod for Go Mode. If he checks the Bombos tablet first, he can Go Mode Swamp. If he doesn't, that's going to be bad for him.
And there was the big key there for Sinhe. So Sinhe now with 2 small keys has everything he needs to start climbing up towards Aga 2 and to Ganon.
Yeah, and Bradley's just going straight into Swamp. He's not going to check that Bombos tablet, so he might end up full clearing Swamp. Yeah, Sinhe's climbing, beginning his gauntlets through the first Mimic Room into the second. At this point, for Sinhe, it would take a massive mistake for him, for Bradley to be able to catch up. But, I just forgot what I was going to say.
That's right. Yeah, the late is pretty. It seems insurmountable at this point. It would take a lot of setbacks at this point for Sinhe to open the door for Bradley to walk through. But it still requires completion here, so we'll see how well Sinhe's endgame execution is.
Yeah. So the one thing you gotta wonder with Sinhe right now is, where does he feel he is? Does he feel like he's way behind? Is it gonna affect his execution at all?
Yep, we'll see. Nerves may come into play here. Now, luckily he has Gold Sword and does not have Silvers, but Silverless Ganon, we'll see how comfortable Sinhe is with the execution of a Silverless Ganon fight. But beyond that, it's going to be just the same Ganon's Tower Ascension that you've probably done scores of times. So we'll see how smooth this goes for Sinhe. But yeah, if I were in Sinhe's shoes right now, I would not be feeling 100% confident in my chances at this point, given how long it took for me to dive into Pod.
He's gonna powder the fairy here, which with Green Mail, he wants to keep his health up as high as he can. With Gold Sword, it's just 2 slashes per Land Mola. He's got to keep his... Can't use the Fire Rod again because he's got to keep his magic up. Bradley is going to come down here. He's going to grab his Gold Sword. Sinhe is continuing his climb, making pretty good work through this gauntlet. So the room, he's not even going to grab the magic refill, which is surprising. Guess he doesn't need it technically.
Utilizing the one gap to light that lamp, and we'll proceed on. Presumably he'll take the magic refill in this next room, but yeah, I found it a little curious at that time too, but it looks like Sinhe will be able to go ahead and proceed on with little to no trouble here. And just in case you weren't sure, here's the map to show you how to navigate this tower.
Moldorm 2 fight with Gold Sword's just 2 swings. Bradley unfortunately gets caught by this. Oh! He had Moldorm down and he fell.
A double KO for Sinhe. Unfortunately, tie goes to Moldorm, I do believe. So I'm going to have to engage in round 2.
There he goes, down this second time.
Yeah. And checking that final chest, maybe in the hopes of a mail upgrade, unfortunately, or silvers, but only getting bombs in response.
So yeah, he's got Gold Sword, so that helps, but he's got to Fighter Mail, Silverless, Ganon, and also no half magic, so with the Gold Sword, it's not so bad, but it's also not an ideal situation to go into.
He's getting 1 hit in the first cycle of this Aga 2 fight. And it looks like he got a triple there in that second cycle with that double. Down goes Aga 2. Very nicely done. On his way to the Ganon fight right before the 1 hour, 50-minute mark for Sinhe.
While Bradley is taking on Argus. Gold Sword, this is not bad at all. Fortunately, with 2 items on the left side, Bradley might elect to come back in here. Alright, here we go with the Ganon fight.
And I hope he didn't blink, because that was phase 1.
And that should be phase 2. Yeah, Bradley going back in to check those other 2 chests. So far, Ganon's been nice with his warps.
Yep, not showing off his teleporting. There he goes. That's about what I expect.
And that was still on the nicer side. He's got his torch glitch. Now he needs 12 spins. He does have potions, so he can use the fire rod freely here. Using his timing on that torch to make sure he can get extra swings. If you time a torch right, you can get 3 swings per phase.
Mm-hmm. By my count, looks like he's on 8 right now. So just 4 more well-timed spins to win for Sinhe.
Looks like very calm and collected as he's doing this. And down goes Ganon.
A clinical silverless fight for Sinhe, and that will spell the victory for him. Very nicely played by Sinhe. GG's for this Week 3 victory.
And Sinhe officially finishes with a speed racing TV time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 46 seconds.
Congratulations once again to Sinhe. Meanwhile, Bradley is completing the left side of Swamp. We know that certainly what would be in his best interests would be going to getting that ice rod, and it's a matter of time until that gets revealed for Bradley.
So let's see if he heads west and checks the Bombos tablets. Yeah, he's heading that way. This will put him in go mode. We are seeing if we can get Sinhe to join us here for an interview. And there is the ice rod, so Bradley is officially in go mode.
And looks like we are joined by our Victor Sinhe. Congratulations, and very nicely played.
Hey there, thank you. Oh gosh, that was a seed. I mean, it started off so good, but then again, the hookshot. I tracked the match earlier where hookshot was essentially the same goal item and it was in double chest carry, even though Swamp was not required. So I was super happy seeing Swamp being a crystal. Yes, hookshot earlier, and then it happens to be in pot.
So you made the early gamble that really set the tone for this race by going into Ice Palace. Can you give us an idea into your insight when you made that decision?
Nothing specifically, actually. I just saw that the fire rod was in the bonk rod, and that essentially opened up Ice Palace. So I thought to myself, well, I'm gonna go ahead and finish Skullwoods, and then if I have to dip a pendant dungeon, I'm gonna go into Ice. It was the green pendant, so there was a 4th item for me as well. I was kind of surprised to see Kane and the mirror in there. So that's flashback to a race from the 4th tournament. And also finding the ice rod on the bomb. I think it was Bombos Tablet, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
Yeah, I was speculating about Turtle Rock right after finding Aether in Paradox Cave. Luckily, I didn't do that. So that was another time save, I guess.
Yeah, your timing on finding that that ice rod was really good. It seemed like the hookshot was the only thing that got to you, and it just happened to be in that last spot you checked.
Yeah, I was all the time like, oof, finish Turtle Rock, hookshot is not here. If hookshot is in Palace of Darkness, you have lost. It was my whole thought the entire time.
Yeah, unfortunately for your opponent, Bradley, Ice Palace was probably the last place he checked, and that's what really put him behind.
Yeah, no one likes to do Ice Palace.
So what was go ahead.
Especially not on low person strats with just Fighter Sword and Hammer.
So as you found that hook shot there finally in pod and was making your way, what was going through your mind? What were your thoughts of where you were, what the result was going to be at that point for you?
It's really difficult to say. I'd say at that point, I prepared myself and stared over at the SRTV channel. He's probably going to be done any moment now. I was feeling so far behind by that point when I found the hookshot. I mean, if he would have gone to pod way earlier, he had the hookshot already by the time. And that would have put him so far ahead of me.
And what's interesting is that Bradley did go into pod. Both of you went to your respective pendant dungeons separate from each other, and it was really just a matter of when the other was going to dive into the other one. And you definitely took that advantage, getting your final go mode item there in pod. And that really is what spelled a good deal of the difference in these times.
Yeah, I think one of the other big differences is you never touched Thieves Town. Actually, you went into the front half of Thieves Town. You didn't go into the back.
Yeah, I checked the first half and then I rage quit it or rather bailed there.
You say you call it a rage quit. I don't wouldn't have seen that was a rage quit.
And also the death on Shrinings was so unfortunate. I didn't pay attention to the main head. So that really got to me as well.
So, we looked up your record beforehand. We were a little unclear as to what your record is right now. You want to give us a little insight on that?
101. So the first match was a tie because we both forfeited.
Oh, okay.
So that'll put me effectively at 201 now, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it should be 201 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, how do you feel going forward? I mean, ideally, you still need to get to 5 wins to make it into the bracket. I don't know how to work if you're at 4. I'm not sure if you'd have an advantage or not.
I guess we'll wait and see about that. I'm not worried about moving into the bracket yet. There's still a few matches I would have to win for that. I mean, even 6-1 doesn't, I don't think, really guarantee a spot in the bracket.
I believe 5 and 2 or higher are guaranteed in the bracket.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking about. So, well, I guess time will tell if I'll make it to the bracket or not.
Yep, still a good month worth of matches left, and 3 weeks in without technically a loss on your ledger. It's definitely looking pretty favorable for you thus far. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what these next 4 weeks have in store for you and for the entire remainder of the field as well.
So, any more thoughts on this seed? Any final thoughts to finish up?
Oh yeah, definitely. I never want to see hookshot as a go mode item again. That sums it up.
Here, here.
Well, if you want to, you can stick and chat with us if you want to watch as Bradley finishes out his seed, or if you have things to do, you can also head out.
Yeah, alright, I'll probably stick around and chat then.
Okay. Yeah, we've got Bradley in Turtle Rock right now. He's in go mode. He's got to get through here, and he'll be head straight over to Ganon's Tower. Bradley will actually have cleared all 10 dungeons.
As we see a collection rate of 150 of the 260 items and a game time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, 16.49 seconds. Once again, very, very nicely done. And yeah, we're just watching Bradley put the finishing touches on the seed in a losing effort. But again, all the respect in the world for Bradley for going ahead and seeing this thing through to its conclusion.
Absolutely. In these situations, as much as it sucks knowing you lost, and you know you're probably in this situation just thinking of everything you did in the seed. You're already evaluating where you are, and I mean it's generally better than not to finish out your seeds. Just if you have the time, finish it out, because you're going to gain more experience from finishing out than you are from forfeiting.
Absolutely. It's not every day you get to be a part of a restreamed race in a tournament setting. So certainly want to go ahead and get as much experience as you can while that opportunity presents itself to you. So, but still, given how much of a hassle the seed has to have been for Bradley at this point, I would not have faulted Bradley too much for wanting to go ahead and wave the white flag. But Bradley persisting, and again, all the respect for doing so.
So he's still checking chest, which is interesting. Go mode's Turtle Rock could usually just grab the key there and bail.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's hard to really get in the mind and get an understanding there. Maybe just looking for that red mail at this point. Silvers is acquired. You've got gold sword. Hard to really think of what else you could want at this juncture.
Yeah, we don't know where the red mail is. We have not seen that yet. Did the big chest have a key in it? I don't remember.
I unfortunately do not recall either.
Okay, I'm pretty sure there was a key on Laser Bridge, so he's fine. No, now I remember. It was the map in the big chest.
Yes. That now that you mentioned that, that is indeed the case.
So I mean, looking at Bradley's performance, it hasn't been a bad performance at all. He just got unlucky on his gambles. That's really what a lot of it came down to.
Yeah, Bradley was just roadblocked effectively by Ice Palace, and unfortunately, whether it was hesitation or just a preference issue, the putting off of Ice until pretty much it was the last available option is really where we find ourselves, the way we find ourselves right now. So it's hard really to fault Bradley for that necessarily. It's just the way the cookie crumbled here, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. It happens in Randomizer. Sometimes your gambles pay off, sometimes they don't. Yeah, Bradley is going to go through the laser bridge. Draining magic quick. If he wants to continue to use that cape, he'll have to drain a potion. Ooh, this laser bridge is getting the better half of him right now.
There's the small key Bradley would be looking for. Still going to go ahead and try and get this last chest, though, down to just one heart of health, though, and going ahead and taking the death ahead of schedule.
Just kind of looking ahead on the schedule to give an idea of what we've still got coming up today. Over on ALTTPR right now, we just had a match start up between Sinhe and Hayabusa. And then at the... we've also got other matches still going on throughout the day, so make sure to check out the schedule for the full listing of matches we have set for you today.
Absolutely going to be matches pretty much going for the remainder of this afternoon into the evening hours. We got matches all the way through 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time today, and we've got a handful of matches scheduled for tomorrow. It's not yet been determined which will be broadcasted through the air or not, but certainly a fair amount of games to choose from depending on when they decide to get streamed or not.
We have Bradley going now into his Trinex fights. Gold Sword, Blue Mail. He should be fine. Unfortunately, he forgets to switch his rods. Yeah, with Gold Sword, it's 3 hits per head, and then 3 hits for Trinex.
Bradley almost getting the quick final phase of Trinex, but nevertheless, down goes Trinex for Bradley. That will be 7 crystals for Bradley after 2 hours and 6 minutes on his way to ascend Ganon's Tower and put the nail on the coffin of this seed.
Let's see which way. We'll have to see which way he elects to go once he gets into Ganon's Tower.
And while Bradley is arriving at Ganon's Tower, I would welcome anyone still watching to go ahead and give both of our runners today a follow if you'd like to see more of their randomizer exploits here. These runners have put on quite a good race for us this afternoon, so if you'd like to reward them with a follow, you're most certainly welcome to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Bradley is in Ganon's Tower. Let's see which way he elects to go. It's going to start on the right.
Yep, and with a small key in one of these 2 chests, the right side is open if he wishes to and it looks like that is where he's going to go, at least for the first part of this.
So both runners did elect to go right. Having a little trouble with this switch, though. Is he gonna do tile room?
He's making the tile room gamble. Maybe perhaps Bradley doesn't have the room up, or I'm not sure, but is going to go ahead and this would be a gamble that you would make if you think you were behind and were just making a Hail Mary. But Bradley not going to be too pleased by the results of this, but hey, we'll get to see what's in this tile room, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so.
Bradley employing the technique of grabbing onto the wall while the cape is activated. Magic does not drain while you are in that grabbing position.
Just a small key for his trouble. So grab the magic, though. So let's see. He remembers to grab the magic now. He's going to redo this room. So he'll grab some powder here as well. That'll give him a safety for climbing the tower. Yeah, he's gonna grab the key here. Let's see if he likes to warp back to the front. And no, he's not. He's going to continue on. Or he's going to try to continue on. These conveyor belts are giving him some trouble. So he's gambling full right side. Unfortunately, it is on the left. With no magic, he can't use Burna. Man, this room is getting the best of him. Most people do not elect to go through this way. So going through this route and trying it differently, it's a little bit unfamiliar, and that can definitely throw a runner off.
Bradley resetting the room for a second try here. Oh no, so close.
But don't save and quit. I mean, overall, it's going to be better for him because he's going to find the big key in the Salvos room, but... Oh, that was almost disastrous.
Let's see if this will be a fourth heart piece to give him a free health refill, and it is not.
Alright. He's gonna head to the right first, so it's gonna be the last chest he checks. Most likely they'll have the big key.
And we see 5 arrows was the stun reward for this seed.
Nope, he's gonna make the check differently, and it's gonna be the third chest he checks in here. Yeah, he's climbing the tower now. Does have to be careful, but he does have powder, so he can get a fairy here for some extra health. Taking the safe route, not trying to take any extra damage. I have to wonder where that red mail was. Most likely it was beyond the Stalfos room on the left side.
Yeah, that's what comes to immediate mind as well. Pretty much every dungeon was checked in some capacity or another, so not a whole lot of places that red mail could have been buried at.
Bradley getting the switch there. It's gonna be in the cannonball room and then up into the proper area. Using the iframes here to get through this easily.
Is going to go ahead and grab some further safety in the form of the 2 fairies in this bombable room to the south.
Yeah, I would say Bradley's been very thorough. His tracker is almost complete, except for the Aga 1 kill. When I say complete, though, I just mean he's got everything at least highlighted here.
Yep, very thorough checking, which unfortunately was probably not what Bradley had in mind, but still a little consolation to have all those things lit up for the most part.
Right, Bradley's working his way through in the last of these ice/conveyor rooms, and they'll be on Land Molus too.
And shout out to our tracker Raspberry Flu for going ahead and getting all those lit up on Bradley's side there. Thanks a lot for keeping tabs of things for us this afternoon.
Looks like Bradley's having a little bit of trouble on this Slanmola fight. There he goes, he's got it down. So we're up into the Wizrobe rooms. Use some Aria shots to get through these. At this point, it's mostly just some execution practice, at least.
Yep, not a whole lot remaining here. We'll see if Bradley decides to be as thorough as possible and check these remaining few locations en route to Aga 2. But yeah, at this point, it's just the same Ganon's Tower execution here as you would in practically every other seed. There's some potential for variation. I had the liberty of doing this room, for example, without the fire rod in my week 2 match. That was kind of interesting, but more often than not, this is just the same Ganon's Tower rise up as you would with all other seeds. So it's a very wise thing to get that down, Pat, as this is basically the end game for every seed you will do in Randomizer.
Yeah, and as mentioned, it's almost always the same. Like, there's very little variation here. I mean, you might come in once in a while without a fire rod, or you might have it without a cane, or maybe you won't have your safeties, but beyond that, it is about the same. We got our rest stop here, grab some fairies and some magic before heading into the Moldorm 2 and beyond fights. Actually, it is a nice rest stop. You get some health, some magic, and you even get a map to show where you are.
So a slash and a poke will be enough to take care of Moldorm 2 with the gold sword, and we just have some bombs there in that final chest for Bradley. And looks like a little bit of a showing off of some magic, perhaps in a salute to this seed.
Yeah, salute this seed. I think that's a pretty good way to put it.
Yeah, maybe some other forms of salute would be coming from me if I were the one playing the seed right now. But in any case, Bradley is going to utilize all of his magic, likely going to get his blue potion used so he has the ability to activate the torch glitch. But Bradley expressing his displeasure in every way possible, it seems. And honestly, I can completely understand.
Yeah, at some point you just want to let out your frustration.
Yeah, that Y button's getting some aggressive mashing done at this moment.
I don't think there were bomb strats for Aghanim 2.
are bomb swag strats, which Bradley is displaying in abundance.
Yeah, I think he would have laid down a lot more bombs if the game didn't limit you to 2. But Bradley's got Ega 2 down. He is heading for his Ganon fight. So with gold sword, silver arrows, this should be a relatively easy Ganon fight. And he's going to continue to use the bomb strats.
Unfortunately, Ganon also resistant to explosives, but I'm sure that's not going to stop Bradley anytime soon.
That should be more than enough to push Ganon into phase 3.
And phase 4, 5, 6, 7. Anyways, Bradley now on to phase 3. Just 4 more will time slashes. Taking a hit there from Ganon.
Yeah, he's gonna pop another blue potion. He does have, as much as he is getting some good frustration now, he does have to make sure he has magic for this last phase.
No fury like a Trogdor scorned, apparently, here.
Alright, we're into the final phase. He's gonna get his torch glitch off. And just 4 arrows in the Ganon.
Nice double there from Bradley. 2 more of those arrows will spell the end of this race.
And down goes Ganon. And Bradley is just going to unload some silvers.
So once again, GG to Bradley for seeing this through right at 2 hours and 22 minutes. And he's going to unload the entirety of his quiver, it appears, before walking through into the Triforce room. Oh, maybe shooting one into the Triforce room as well. And yeah, that Triforce room is getting the full brunt of his assault.
Bradley is officially finished with an SRTV time of 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 17 seconds.
And the world can rest easy knowing that Dr. Wily's domination has come to an end.
So we're going to get Bradley in here for an interview, see how he feels after that seed.
I think we have an idea of how he feels, but it'll be interesting to get his thoughts all the same. And we are joined by Bradley. GG's. Again, let me echo once again my respects to you to seeing this through to its end, regardless of how much of a pain the seed was.
Oh man, I'm so mad. When I went into pod, I got my silvers and I got the master sword and something else, I can't remember. I think it was flute, but I was like, there's no way Ice Palace is gonna have anything. Yeah. That made me mad.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Ice Palace play was kind of what decided the race, as Sinhe decided to dive it pretty early. Well, it was one of the last things you had on your list.
Yeah, I thought I saw that I could do it for a while, and I could do pod for a while, and I was like, pendants. I'll get to them in a second, and then I was like, I'm gonna go to one of them. If there's something there, good, and then I'll go on. And I just didn't think both of them would have important items. It was kind of stupid. Ice Palace definitely being the more important one.
Yeah, Sinhe making the dive, even the fact that he only had fighter's mail and fighter's sword, not deterring Sinhe in the least. He went ahead and dived in and pulled it off, and that put him. There was a period of time where you had checked pod, he had checked ice, but neither had checked the other, and it was really going to come down to who found that second pendant dungeon bounty first, and it unfortunately was your opponent at this point.
Yeah, I figured as soon as I went into pod and as soon as I got down to like needing ice palace left, I was like, this is stupid. I hate this stupid game. I do this all the time. And I once I saw Kane and Mirror in there, and I was like, oh man. At that point, I knew I'd lost. Like, there was no way, unless he had done the same thing, which obviously he didn't.
Yeah, I think by about the 25th bomb you placed, your opinions of the seed were made quite clear.
Yeah, I forgot to switch to my fire rod before I killed Ganon, like before the arrow hit, because I was going to use all my fire rod as Trogdor and burn the place, but I messed up. But it was a fun seed. I really actually, besides Ice Palace and not going there, I really actually enjoyed it. It was an overall good seed. I liked how most things were. I sucked in Skull Woods. That was bad.
Yeah, I noticed it took a couple deaths there.
Yeah, that got me tilted a little bit. I had to kind of take a few breaths after that, but I was like, it's okay. I don't even have a sword yet. I was like, calm down.
Yeah, I think the blacksmith also aggravated you a little bit.
Yeah, I did not know that you couldn't take him in that cave. That was definitely a learning experience. I was like, oh, well, that's stupid. I tried to slash him, but I didn't have a sword.
Yeah, there's a lot to take from the seed, a lot of things you can learn from. It may behoove to take a look at your opponent's thoughts or compare notes between the two of you. There was a lot of interesting wrinkles to the seed that could really go a long way to kind of rounding out some strategies here. But yeah, you will fall unfortunately to 1 and 2, but you're still in this. Definitely on going to need to go on a bit of a winning streak to proceed through. But hey, keep on fighting and see this thing through, man. Best of luck to you in your future races.
Oh yeah, I got this. 4 in a row is no problem.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the seed or on the performance in general or anything?
I mean, no, I felt pretty good. Like I said, I felt pretty good with everything we said, Skull Woods, and then not knowing about taking the Dwarf up Bumper Cave. But just Ice Palace. There's always one dungeon that I avoid every race that ends up biting me in the butt. Again, I don't know how to fix that, but overall it was fun. GG's to Sinhe for the win, and thanks to you guys for doing the commentary, for doing all that. Stoli for picking up the restream. Always fun. I always enjoy your guys' efforts. So GG's to Sinhe once again.
All right, I think with that we can wrap up here. And thanks for watching, everybody. As I mentioned earlier, there's still plenty going on today throughout all the networks, both on Speed Gaming and ALTTP Randomizer. Right now, over on ALTTP Randomizer, it's the normal. I can't think of the word now. On the main channel, we have Sinhe versus Kles Hayabusa going on. At the top of the hour, so about 30 minutes, we'll have B- versus Problems IRL. That'll be on Speed Gaming. Hour after that, we've got Akash versus Tadaru. And even going from there, we've still got plenty more matches going on tonight. So, yeah, thank you to our tracker, Raspberry Floof. Thank you for Astolia for restreaming. And CDV, I'll give you the last word here.
Yeah, thanks so much, everyone, for watching, and thanks again to both of our racers. If you have not followed, feel free to give them their appropriate follows. They put on a good show for us this afternoon, and yeah, plenty of randomizer to go for you guys. And thanks again for Brewers fan JP for the co-commentary, and yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. I hope to do this again sometime.
Have a good day, everybody.